Woohoo! Hey, what's up, everybody? Dwayne Wally here, bringing back the Tourney Talk. We have not had this episode in quite some time, so hey, wanted to. I got an echo. Hang on just a second. Tourney Talk. We have not had this episode in quite some time, so hey, wanted to. I got to figure out how to turn this sound off. Bear with me, because it's echoing real bad. Because this will drive me insane. Echoing real bad. Maybe that'll do it. All right. Anyway, so for tonight, we are going to talk with Matt Johnson from Omnia. We've been, man, me and Matt's been talking for quite some time over the past year about how we could work together and try to promote Tourney X to their their customers, and then vice versa, try to help him move the Omnia Pro app and this, that, and other. So it's a really great app that he's got. So I want to bring him on real quick, and we'll get into some of the. I'm sure hoping this is streaming properly. I'm gonna bring him on, and we're gonna talk about a little bit about his background, where he came from, how he made it to the Omnia area, and what he's doing, and what their outlook looks like. So here he comes. What's up, buddy? How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Wife and I just went out to eat tonight a little bit, and hopefully it'll be a quiet night. So, yeah. So once again, this is Matt Johnson from Omnia. Man, like I said, we've been talking for almost a year and a half now, and it was so good to meet you at the Bassmaster Classic. We had a great meeting, and we've been talking about tons of different things, of ideas and this, that, and other, and try to help you guys move along, and you guys have to try to help us move along. So certainly appreciate that. And so just tell us a little bit about yourself, man. I know you got so where are you guys from, and kind of a little bit about where you were born, where you were raised. Just kind of go through that if you don't mind, buddy.
Yeah. Well, currently in Minnesota, right in the Twin Cities area. I live right in the middle of it all. The military brat growing up, though, so I've kind of lived all over the place. I born in North Carolina, so southern roots. I was raised in northern Wisconsin, up on Lake Superior, in a little town called Ashland, and I was the only kid eating grits and collard greens for breakfast and dinner because my parents were southern, but all over the place. My dad was a military man, career military man. Lived in Oklahoma, North Carolina. Spent a few years. Sister born in Germany. So we've been everywhere. Spent the last clip of his career as a recruiter up in northern Wisconsin, and that's where I really grew up from about 6 years old till I graduated, went on to college in Wisconsin, and then ended up in Minnesota for more school. And I'm about to cross that period now where I've lived here longer than I lived anywhere for longer than a period of time. So we've been here for a while now, and spent most of my career. I tell everyone, accidentally spent my career in the fishing industry for the last 14 years. I started a company in 2010 called Contour Innovations, and we specialize in processing sonar data from marine electronics. We did a partnership with Lowrance in 2012, and then actually sold the company to them in 2014. I worked for Lowrance until about 2018, mid 2018. And during that time, we had a digital office here in Minnesota, and we handled all of the mapping, a lot of the live mapping, and then also their social map, vegetation, bottom harness mapping using sonar. It's a really cool project. Once we sold the company, my job was globally, I had to go all around the world and teach all the dealers of Lowrance how to use the product. So that was a pretty great gig, getting to fish in 25 different countries.
I guess so.
Yeah. So moving around has been the story of my life, I guess. And but got the idea for Omnia and partnered up with two other guys, Chris and Dan, and the three of us started the company in mid 2018. We were live in 2019, and been on this journey ever since. And our idea was there's like 90% of transactions were still happening in store, a lot of them predominantly happening in the Bass Pro Cabela's, and we saw that experience kind of declining. We said, what is the foundation of what people ask? And they, people that need help with tackle selection, they walk in and they say, I'm going to Circle Lake. I want to catch a bass. How do I do that? And you're hoping that that staff can walk you through that massive amount of selection and kind of narrow it down to the items that catch fish during the right time of year, based on the forage base, based on the structure, you know, with the makeup of that water body. And I said, I understand mapping. I said, can we figure out how to create a unique shopping experience for every lake in America? And that's how Omnia was born. That was the idea, and it just kind of took off from there. And now we've continued to evolve the company and been on a really great path.
So and that brings us to a good point about the Omnia app and how you guys have integrated the actually the different layers. You know, you got different layers in that app. You know, it's funny. I made a post a couple of weeks ago about we're doing a couple of little specials, and we can talk about those in a minute. But the Omnia app with all the different layers, you've got your navionics layer, you got your vegetation layer, you got your bottom layer. Now you got water temp layer, and there's several different ones in there. Of course, you have to be I think you have to be a paid user to be able to utilize those. And how much is that a year now?
Yeah, it's the pro service for all those layers is $49 a year.
Okay.
So
and I think go ahead.
Omnia is 100% free. You know, it's always been free, and we really got our start in e-commerce. We've got about a 30,000 square foot warehouse in Golden Valley, Minnesota, and we processed hundreds of thousands of orders, and we ship product every day. Everything that comes in before 1 goes out same day. So really, most of the Omnia customer base sees us as an e-commerce company. But by trying to create that shop by lake concept, where every single lake had its own shopping experience, we found that people were actually coming into the site and doing their planning there. They were looking at the map. They were looking at lake pages. We've had about 30,000 fishing reports filed on the site talking about what bait works on what lake to catch what species during a certain time of year. And so with that amount of information, we've been able to actually turn that back out, and we saw people were using it to plan their trips. So Pro really was the next step in the trip planning service. And that's how can we build the most comprehensive set of maps, navionics, trusted contours, all social map contours, bottom hardness vegetation, like you mentioned. How can we put in weather layers like wind and lightning strikes, things to keep you safe, barometric pressure, anything that we think could give you an edge in making your decisions, boat launches, water temperatures that come from satellite, water clarities that come from satellite. And we're continuing to add more. We're actually about to announce a full waypoint management tool where you could import your waypoints or create waypoints, have weather automatically associated to them, sort them, filter them. We just want to be the one-stop shop to help you plan your trips and get the right gear. And so now we've almost kind of created these two paths where there's a mapping, really comprehensive mapping app. We believe that, if you're going to get one app, get this one. And what's really cool is because we also have the e-commerce piece of it, is we can offer a lot of cool services in there that are related to e-commerce. So like, for example, if you buy $100 worth of gear from us and you're a pro member, you spent $49, you get 10% credit back on every purchase you make because we ship it from our warehouse. We control that experience. And, sometimes baits get hot and they get hard to find. We've got to notify me when things are back in stock. If you're a pro member, you get a couple-hour head start. There's just all kinds of things, for that elevated experience, trying to really get you the best shopping experience online for tackle.
Cool. So I noticed in the app the other day, I was using it, you have to turn a layer on and a layer off, correct? You can't multi-layer over top of one another, correct?
There are some limitations, like, for example, the way our app is designed, at the moment, you can't toggle a navionics and a wind layer just because of the way the animation works with navionics, but all other layers can be turned on at the same time.
Oh, they can.
So okay.
Yeah,
so you could turn on your wind layer, you could turn on your cloud cells or your storm cells and your lightning strikes at the same time. You could turn on the bottom hardness map and the wind layer, and those are all. There are some limits, but what's really cool is you turn on that wind layer, then you turn on your boat launch layer, and then you start thinking about where am I going to launch, because I want to save gas, get into the spots I want to go to, and I want to be out of the wind, especially for kayaks, guys. That's a great.
Yeah, kayaks are. Yeah, that's one of the big things. Now, is your wind layer? Do you pull it from I know there's different apps out there like Wind Finder, things like that. That I use it when I deer hunt because I want to know exactly how fast, how hard the wind's blowing, what direction it's coming from, so I can get set up from a hunt. Is that something I haven't even looked at it? So I'm just
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah,
understand that.
we use a very accurate weather service provider to create all of our wind layers. Wind layers, like I said, storm cells. The lightning strike is the one that's really interesting. Nobody's offering that. And so it will give you real-time lightning strikes in the area for the continental United States. So if you're on the water and you can see actually a storm cell on the app, you can see the wind, you can see how things are changing. You can see if that storm cell's headed in your direction, and then you can see if there's lightning attached to it. So that's kind of
Nice.
a cool safety feature.
Nice. Very nice. So, where do you want to be? I mean, that's always, people call me up, say, man, where do so I've been in Attorney X for 10 years now, and I don't even feel like I've been there that long, but you really can't foresee the future. No one can. But where do you see yourselves in, 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, it's a good question. The next phase of the business, now that we have been able to successfully launch our e-commerce, it's really grown to be a really big business in and of itself with tackle sales online. We carry hundreds of brands. We have millions of inventory. I mean, it's really grown to be a great business that's nationally known. With the expansion into the mapping, the vision really is to just be that one-stop shop for planning, keeping all your information safe and private, buying all of your gear, getting the right gear. I've seen some things in the fishing industry. I was interested in just getting volume, a lot of things, but we really want to convince people to buy the right thing, and try to help them with that. It sounds silly, but like the end goal for this whole thing is to send the majority of the fishing industry to the water with a lot of confidence.
Right.
If you look at the numbers for the fishing industry, it's growing, and the pandemic brought a lot of new entrants into the fishing industry, but it almost seems like the faster we can grow the sport, the faster we lose people. And I don't know if that's just because in that first couple of years, the information's so fragmented, it's hard to find. You don't necessarily go out and have a great experience because you got a lot to learn. Yeah. And so we want to make that learning curve really short, and try to get as many people to stick around the sport, feel like they're heading to the water with a really good plan, feel like they have the resources that they need to go in with a good plan. And that's where really where we're headed. And honestly, that comes from reps. You got to have a lot of customers and a lot of people asking questions to make the product better and better over time. And that's what, we have a customer support team that handles all of our e-commerce transactions, and a different customer support group that handles all of our pro mapping questions. And that's how we'll be able to make the changes as fast as we can make them. So I think, 5 years from now, that's 5 years behind us that we've been able to continuously improve the product to just give people as much confidence as possible. The hope was Attorney X is an entry point for a new customer to say, you know what, I can get my brother's kayak and go fish in a tournament. I can give it a try. Right. And the hope is that the Omnia app can give them so much confidence and so much information that they stick around. They say, you know what, I'm going to get my own kayak, and I'm going to get my own rods and reels, and I'm going to stick around. There's a category of angler called Forced to Fish, and it's all of us that I hang around Dwayne, and Dwayne says, come on, let's go. We're going fishing. I said, I got to go fishing. And I think we lose those people. You see them buy a license and then say like, well, if Dwayne's not taking me, I'm not going anymore. Right. We need to change that. And I think that's where we want to be with the company.
Right. You say that because I've got friends that here in Mississippi where I'm at that we're always buddying up from somebody. You know what I'm saying? We go fish. I go fish by myself a lot. You see photos that I post, and it's because I'm out there by myself because I enjoy it. I actually do going out by myself. But there's days that, I'll reach out to a couple of buddies. I'll say, hey, you want to go? Yeah, man, let's go. And so it's, I think we push each other, to do that. And it's a super sport. It really is. I mean, my goodness, this past weekend, I think we actually broke a record this weekend of how many fish were submitted in 2 days. It's unbelievable. We had over 14,000 fish submitted in just 2 days. I actually had to kind of wipe my eyes. I actually pulled into my database, and I pulled the database up, and I ran the numbers and looked at them. I was like, are you kidding me? Is that really 14 grand? And it was. I had to look 3 times. And I mean, that's a lot of fish in just 2 days. Okay.
Yeah.
But we were fishing. I mean, we had tournaments all the way from, from California to Maine. It was just unbelievable. And I think we had 60 or 65 events total. So, and then about 20 or so on Sunday. But it's just a huge industry. And I think if we all kind of just circle and help each other out, I think it's a big deal. And that comes to kind of one of the other things I want to talk to you about is So we got this little tournament going on. Something that we talked about doing, and we've been kicking it around. And since you're kind of in the hip pocket of Seth Feider, and tell us about what's going on with that.
Yeah. Well, all of the props to Seth Feider. I mean, he's such a well-known, well-liked angler. Everyone we speak to, we never hear anybody say anything bad about him. He's such a great guy, great character. Angler of the year in the past. Like he's just had a great time on the water. He's shown what he's capable of. But everybody loves him and loves his personality. And we've actually been working with Seth from day one. So he was connected to us through some mutual friends. And Seth said, you guys are solving something really important here. So this was not hey, Seth, we'll give you $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000. And we want you to wear an Omnia hat and do this. Seth actually didn't see it that way. Seth said, I want to be a part of this. And I want to be a partner with what you're trying to build with Omnia. And so, Seth's part of the whole group. He's part of the decision-making. He provides input on how we grow the business. Well, because he has such a big audience, we rely on him to help spread the word about what we're doing with Omnia, and that's one of his major contributions. So our marketing team approached him about doing a tournament through TourneyX, a virtual tournament, which he's never done before. And after a whole bunch of back and forth, the idea was that, let's give everybody the opportunity to enter for free. Omnia covers all the entry fees to fish the app, and use the TourneyX app and enter. They get almost, it's like 3 weeks to enter their 5 biggest fish.
Right.
And Seth's fished one day on his home water in Mille Lacs here in Minnesota. He has won a big tournament there, so it's possible nobody can beat him. But he's going to fish the one day for his best 5. Anybody that beats Feider is entered and is going to receive a gift. And then anybody that wins the whole thing is going to get a pretty sizable gift. The really cool way we've tried to incorporate pro mapping, our Omnia Pro mapping service in, is that if you're a pro member that you see value in that $49, you want the wind, you want the navionics, you want water temperatures, you want that credit back on all your tackle purchases. Most of your guys are probably tackle junkies. So they probably already said, well, hey, if they've got a big selection, I can buy from them and get my money back. If you're a pro member, all those prizes are basically doubled up. So that's how we're incorporating the pro concept into this. And it's going to be a pretty fun tournament. I think it kicks off here pretty soon.
Yeah, actually, I think it starts tomorrow. I've got it up right now looking at it. We've got 111 anglers in it now already. And I think they can still add. You still join, even if you didn't join today, you can still join as you go. I'm in it. I'm going to fish it. And so the cool thing, I met Seth a couple 3 years ago. I think it was in Birmingham at one of the Bassmaster Classics, just in passing, shook his hand, because I knew who he was, knew of him. Of course, he didn't know me. And then the funny thing was at the Bassmaster Classic this year, we did a celebrity event, and he was one of the pro-am anglers that fished in the celebrity event. So I really got to know him a little bit better. And he's a trooper, man. He picked up the app and signed in and did his thing and tested it. And so yeah, it was a fun event. Really enjoyed his his input and this and other. And you were bringing up a point a little while ago about purchasing the Omnia event. If you look back in our feeds on TourneyX Group, we have a link in there that you guys can still sign up for the for the Omnia Pro app, and also I believe you can get a free catch board. So sign up for that. I think they send once you go through the purchase and another, they'll send you a link back so you can sign up and get your free board. I believe there's probably about 30 or 40 has already done that through us. So it's a good deal. It really is.
Yeah, quite a few more than that, actually. We got a couple hundred of those catch boards in the warehouse. We actually sell a lot of those. Probably a lot of people on the TourneyX app already. But yeah, we thought we'd throw that in. So if you sign up for $49, you're going to get a $5 discount and also a catch board shipped to you for free.
Good deal. Good deal. Hey, I got to ask you a question. Where did Omnia come from? Where did the name Omnia come from? Just curious. Is there?
Yeah, I get that a lot. So Omnia is Latin for all things. And so we wanted this, there's lots of different preferences and lakes and all the details. We wanted Omnia to be all things to fishermen, except for virtual tournaments. But we want Omnia to represent, really that one-stop shop, everything that you need. I was actually in a marketing meeting one time, and our marketing manager, this was maybe 8 years ago, said she had just left Samsung, and she had recommended that one of the Samsung phones before the Galaxy be called Omnia. And I said, why? And she said, it represents all things. It's a really cool name. I said, well, I'm going to use it someday, just kind of joking. And when we started, we threw out all these names. And we had this big long list, and we just started talking about the word Omnia. Just like it became its own thing, and so it felt very natural, and it just kind of took off from there. So one challenge is here in Minnesota, up by Mille Lacs, there's a town called Omnia. And so when we first started out, all of our customers were from Minnesota. They said, Omnia Fishing. Said, no, it's Omnia, O-M-N-I-A.
Had a hard time pronouncing it, eh?
But we do own OmniaFishing.com, and that redirects you to Omnia just in case.
Oh, you sneaky guy.
Yeah, Omnia Fishing, that's all things in Latin. We want to be the one-stop shop for you. Get all your gear, get all your apps, build a good plan, store all your waypoints, be successful, and go confidently.
Good deal. I believe you're going to be at ICAST this year. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Plan to be? Okay. So if you guys are out at ICAST this year, look him up, drop by the booth. I don't know if you're gonna have a booth, or you guys just going to be out and about, or what's the plans? Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, ICAST, because it's not a consumer show, we mostly, our merchandising team is there working with all of our vendors. So we won't have a booth, but we'll be very active, and we'll all be in Omnia gear. So look out for us.
Good deal. Well, I'm not going to keep you long. I mean, this is a short meeting. I wanted to hop on tonight, visit with you, let people kind of see the man behind the deal. Now that you're the CEO, correct? So you got other people in charge that's there to help you out. But listen, I'll tell you what, from my experience, if you have problems with Omnia, contact this guy right here. He will do his best to take care of you guys. I know I mentioned it I was talking to somebody today, and I mentioned about Omnia. I think it was Cheryl Bentley. Anyway, she's one of our Slay Nation ladies that fishes. They have a ladies a kayak group, and I mentioned about having you on tonight, and she's like, "They are the bomb," is what she said. So, and I truly believe it. So, I really wanted you to come on, put a name to a face where people could know who you are and what you stand for, and to know that if they need something or they're in a situation or whatever, that you'll be there to help them out. So,
yeah, that's definitely, we've gotten big. We're about a little over 30 people right now, but I take customer calls. I want to interface and interact with everybody because that's how we make a good product.
Good deal. Well, Matt, I appreciate it. I know you got other things going on with the kids and this, that, and other. I appreciate you hopping on and visiting with us tonight. And
you haven't heard them once, have you? It's been quiet. I've been giving them an ice cream sandwich or something. They've been quiet.
Is it still daylight outside at your place, or is it?
Yeah.
Dang, 8:30.
Yeah, I mean, it's real cloudy. We had some storms come through, but we had tornadoes about 20 miles south of here. But we're way up north, so we'll probably have sunlight. It's getting towards the longest day of the year, June. We probably have sunlight till 10:15 or so.
What? I didn't realize that. So I'm in the South, man. It's right now. It's getting right. It's frog fishing time right now. Okay, right at dark. So
yeah.
But I appreciate you coming on, bud. I really do, and hope you all success. Hope we can help you guys out. You can help us out, and let's grow this thing and enjoy the time. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much, bud.
Have a good night.
All right, you too. See ya.